everybody. Today I figured I would share my homeschool space with you. I always dive in and watch everyone else's, and well, I don't have a fancy room for homeschool or a serious dedicated space. I thought that it would be kind of fun to share how I organize our stuff in our small space, so here's the video. In the living room, we have our family computer that the kids are allowed to use for school. Underneath here, we have the printer, and then below that, we have this crate that I've turned on the side, and we put our library books in there. For Christmas, the kids got this really cool thing called Osmo that goes with their iPad, and it uses letters and number tiles, and then you can do adding and words and all that kind of stuff along with the iPad. We also have the coding expansion. This is the Tanagram expansion. Here is above our dishwasher, which is in a really odd place, but it does give us storage above it. So we have our old iPads, and then we have our printer paper and some lined paper. We have some devotional books that we use as a family. Here is our Some Swamp board game and Silly Sentences board game, which we use quite often. That's why they're here. Here's paint and toilet paper rolls. This is some things that I made for my daughter. So there's letter matching, uppercase and lowercase letters. And then there's rocks with the numbers 1 through 20 on them. On the second shelf, I have these animals that we either use outside or in our Mundo. This bin is all language arts manipulative. So we have these little quotes. We have nursery rhymes cut out, wooden letters, magnet letters. We have our bananagrams, and then a bunch of flashcards, letter flashcards, word flashcards, and some other things in that bin as well that have to do with language arts. Beside that, we have some books here. There's our nature connections, nature anatomy. This is really good if the kids have to draw something from nature because it gives a really good drawn picture of it. And then 101 things to do outside. This group of books here is what I use for the Come Sit By Me curriculum that I'm using with my daughter right now. These are the books that we own for that. This is our math manipulative bin. We have some beadwork, some number matching. We have geoboards and little pies. And then we have our clip together cubes and a bunch of other things in that bin as well that have to do with math. On this last shelf here, we have whatever my daughter's done that day before I put it away. So today we worked on Jolly Phonics. We have my daughter's flashcards. These are all about reading word cards that we haven't got to yet. Our family reader, and then my son's all about reading book he's on right now. Along here, we just have the activities that my daughter does. Here's the Come Sit By Me curriculum. And then we just have other notebooks. This book I got at the Goodwill, and it's a book that you can read a story and then make crafts to go along with it. So that's really fun. There's some math books for her and just some coloring books, but they're more educational based coloring books. And then this binder, I actually took apart a bunch of workbooks that I got for her. So I just hole punch them and then put them in this binder, and then we take out whatever ones we want to do that day instead of having them in a workbook. Here's a book that I got for my son about worrying. Here's the teacher manual for all about reading. And then here's the binders that we put the finished work in. This white binder, actually we haven't started using this yet, but I think that it will help my son with spelling. It is a curriculum that I got from a retired teacher. And basically you use the letters along the top here to make words in the boxes. So you can either cut the letters out and make words, or you can just look at the letters and write them in there. This red binder is where we store his completed math sheets. We use Saxon Math, so. And this is where all of his all about reading worksheets go. Here is where we put the health sheets that he does. And then here is just extra language arts work that we might do, printables. Over on the door that leads to the basement, we have this hanging organizer. And this is where we put the things that we do daily. So we have stickers. And then in here I have the folder of what we're doing in science right now. So we're doing animals and their life cycle and such. These are where we put those science activities. So any paper science activities goes in here. And that's just so that it can all stay together. It's kind of like a notebooking system. And we do the same for social right now because I also created the social that we are doing this year. And then this pouch here is my son's daily work. So it has all the things that we do every day pretty much. And then there's like the random things at the front that we just don't have anywhere to put them. And then this is my daughter's one. So she has these little books and some little activities, cut and paste, and then counting and all that in that same little pouch. On the other side of the door, we have this whiteboard that holds our weekly Bible verse, and then it also holds this chart that tells my son whether or not he gets electronics that day. If it has an X, no electronics. I have this little mother's prayer that I was given, some stickers, and our pens. And then here is our all about reading track sheet and a little incentive thing for church. And this is actually our kitchen. So it looks like a schoolroom, but it's a kitchen. So we have this thing to remind us what complete sentences are all about reading cards, and then up here is all my stuff. So we have the stapler and the clock and all that up there. These are my daughter's Stockmar block crayons. We have the hole punch, but behind there is our nature journals, hot dots, and then the Professor Noggin games. And we have a small clock for practicing. On the wall, we have this 1 to 100 chart. And then we have this calendar that I picked up actually at Save on Foods, of all places. But it's really nice because everything is all in one, so it keeps it all together. And then we have this large whiteboard, and this is just a project we did for the life cycle of a butterfly. These maps, there's 3 of them there. I actually got them in activity book things that I got from the Dollarama. So the activity book comes with stickers. These bins sit on the table. These are the kids' bins for all of their things. So it's a 3-level bin. On the first level is just some counters and letter blocks. The second is crayons, pencil crayons, and markers. And then the top bin has pencils, scissors, glue, and then random things that we might need to get to or fun activities that they can do while they're waiting around. On the table, we also have this basket that we house anything that we are doing with the units that we have going. So I have animal books and our encyclopedia and some other poetry books. And then also those books I was talking about before that those maps came out of. So each book was actually only $3, and it comes with that map that you've seen. Each book comes with one map, and then they have the maps inside as well. And it also gives a 2-page spread of information about the place. So this is just an overview of our whole kitchen and kind of how it's set up. So this is where we store most of our random things that we're not using. This is in the basement. And here's a little shelf with any books that we own. They're on there pretty much, except for the ones that we aren't using or that we are using. Here is our craft area, art area. This is all open-ended art supplies, so we can use these for pretty much anything. The kids can come down here and grab some things out of there if they want, or if I'm planning something, I can come down here and get a few things out of here. It's all really simple stuff, mostly just from the Dollar Tree. These are our craft kits, so there's like felting animals and sock puppets and sewing kits. Over here we have our water paper books or watercolor paper books and some construction papers. Down here in the first cubby we have air dry clay, and in the bin below is plasticine, and then this bin is all of our paint. And over here is coloring books and activity books. And that brings us to this shelf. So on the top, this is for a project that we're going to do. These are those dig and find things, the fossil ones. So they just haven't completed those yet. And this is extra things, supplies. This is a Explore Canada board game, and these are placemats that have information on them. We store them down here because they're just too big to have upstairs. These are workbooks that we're either not using right now or they're going to be used throughout multiple years. And then there's some paper and also these geometric shapes. And then moving on, we have things that we're just not using right now. So we have the math, the books that we're not using quite yet, and then just some other things that we aren't using at the moment. And then this is all of the science. So this is what I use to pull and create a full unit. We have all sorts of stuff in here, magic school bus and just random things that I got for free or from the secondhand store. Tons of workbooks and sheets and experiments. There's little books that I got from the dollar store as well in here that give ideas of things to do. On the second shelf, we have construction paper. We have this model of a human torso, our math scale. In that jar is fossils we got from an old neighbor, our little tykes microscope, some games that we're not using right now, and puzzles and kits. Secret code kit, that kind of thing. This bin is mostly magic school bus kit things. So each bag belongs to a certain topic and came with a kit. And then we have some magnets and also the slides for the magnifying glass. Oh no, for the microscope. I mean, you could use the magnifying glass too, but no, microscope slides. This bin has wooden projects. Here we have flashcards. Most of them are science or math related. This is sand and moon dough and play dirt. We have a math kit that has multiple games in it, and then these are all the science kits that we aren't using right this minute. And beside the shelf along here is everything that we will be doing in next year's. Down there is just paper, but everything up top is all the stuff that is for years to come. And this is in my son's room. This is actually in his closet. So we store all of our board games in the top of his closet, except for the two that I showed you before that were down with our school stuff. And then we have a bunch of littler board games as well, or card games. And most of them are learning games. Some of them are kind of fun, but still you have to use your brain. Under here we have all of our Leapfrog Leap Reader books. And the pens are currently charging on my son's desk. But we also have this thing that I got for my daughter. It's Hot Dots Junior. So like the Hot Dots downstairs, but a little bit simpler things. And when you press on something correct, he lights up green. And if you press on something incorrect, he lights up red. So it's really easy for her to tell if she's made a mistake. And then in the last bin, we have CD books, or books that come with CDs. So they're read along with CD, or sometimes they like to just put them in and listen to audiobook.
Uh, I think I got most of those secondhand. And then the last thing is this science kit that my son got for Christmas, and it's just all about electricity.
Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing how we organize our small homeschool space and how you definitely don't need to have a designated room. Although I do admit sometimes it would be nice to have a room where I could just close the door. But this is what we have, and we make it work. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.